All right. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me on another Monday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Let's Talk About Feelings with Robbie Ripoll. So today, I think my son is going to come in here and talk to me. He said that he would. Gabe just texted me, Kyle, so let me... Sorry, y'all. Handling technical things. Yeah, so whoa. Come on, phone. There we go. All right, so I don't know if my audio is working yet. Hello. There we are. I hit a button that kicked me off. So I think we're live. I think we're on. I think we've gone through all the problems that we can go through. And now my wonderful guest for the day is my beautiful oldest son, Jaden Ripoll, also known as JTL Jado. He's an artist, different in the way that us tattoo folks are, but he is a music and recording artist, and he and I talk about our feelings all the time together. We do. So yeah, I figured it would be kind of cool to bring him in, share a different perspective from a different human in a different field, a younger human. I mean, I'm an old man. There's possibly some young humans in here, possibly some older humans. But yeah, so Jaden, let's talk. What is it you do?
What I do?
Yeah.
I live, breathe, and eat like everybody else, but I do music and overthink my artistry just like every other artist does.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. So like when it comes to creating your art, what's like one of the biggest things that stands in your way?
Myself, of course, but like in a more in-depth answer, like mostly just me just overthinking like things and like fucking overthinking just my artistry and just like letting myself flow, because like most of the time when I do my best is when I just anything that comes to mind I just let it go. When I like, you know, nitpick and like restart over and over again, that's when like I'm at my worst. So like when I let things just kind of happen, like I listen to something, I catch a vibe off it and I lay it down, usually that's the best. Like that's like the most organic, you know what I'm saying? And that's like the best music.
No, I totally dig that, man, because it's similar with tattooing. I remember one time I had a client who wanted a cake pop tattoo with a bite taker. I don't even know if she wanted a bite taker. I think she wanted a bite taker now. Mm-hmm. Anyway, she wanted a cake pop tattoo. Mm-hmm. And the dude that owned the shop that I was at the time, he was like, dude, it's just a fucking line with a circle. Just draw it, man. And like I was overcomplicating it. And like the one thing that kept popping out in my head kept saying like, horror themed. I don't fucking do horror themed tattoos. Mm-hmm. So I was like, what is going on here? So then I asked her, I was like, how would you feel about like a monster cake pop being chased, like chasing a cute little birthday cake pop through a field of like cornfield, but cake pops? And she was like, yeah, that's amazing. And like the stupidest idea I thought was what we ended up tattooing on her. She loved it. It was sick. It was killer. So yeah, it's weird how you stand in your own way on that a lot of the time.
You gotta let yourself be different, because like sometimes people get stuck in that box, or they think they need to sound or create a certain way. Like when you tattoo, like I'm sure you're like, oh, like I gotta keep on like my brand, like, you know, my cartoony, my this, my that. Right. Like sometimes like on a day you just gotta like, you know, sometimes I'll conscious rap and I'll sing, like, you know what I'm saying, instead of like, you know, keeping myself in this box where I think I need to be at.
Well, the funny thing is too, like I made it on brand. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah.
It turned out to look the way I did it, but I was afraid to deviate.
Well, yeah, you have your art now. Like I have my voice now, so like you can always tell when you do a tattoo. You can always tell when I make a song. Right. It's just about like, you know, letting yourself get out of that comfort and like, you know, really just let your mind take over instead of like, I guess maybe your heart would take over in some aspects.
Yeah.
Like you know what I'm saying?
Your intuition, your heart, whatever.
Yeah, but like you just gotta let your brain go wild sometimes and just let it go.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
Just like fuck it.
For real, man. No, absolutely. It's wild. You gotta let your brain go wild.
Yeah, yeah. Because like, you know, you got morals and all this stuff, and you got feelings in here, but like sometimes people take for granted their brain is so like, you know, such a bigger part of it. It can be such a bigger part of it.
And there's so many limits too that aren't there, but we create them in our head. You know, Matt Clemmer from Tattoo Guardians podcast, he says we're meaning making machines. Like, and like and since he's introduced me to that thought process, I've seen that thought process pop up in like other like self-help and personal development books and like business classes and business books, and like. We have no reason to allow these meanings to take over, but we do.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know, like, dude, just earlier today, you saw me, I was fucking crying because I'm like so fed up with being stuck in my limiting beliefs and having a fucked up relationship with money and like living in the lack mindset. When really, if I fucking sit there and if I looked at myself as I was another person and not me.
You think you're pretty cool.
Right?
Yeah.
Same with you. We were talking about this shit last night.
Oh yeah. I was talking about it to Jacob today. I was like, bro, like I've been looking at it so different. Like, cause I hate like talking about shit like on myself, like highly. Cause sometimes I feel like I'm like, you know, bragging or something or like, but that's the thing. Like I was like, you know, 3 years ago, like when I started, I was like, you know, making songs on SoundCloud and like, you know, just not really knowing where like my direction was and feeling like I was at the bottom of the bottom because it was. But like I still feel like I'm at that same bottom, like I haven't moved. But then if you look where I'm at now, I have 3 shows in 3 days. And you know,
this weekend
lined up all in a row, and like I am flying people in that are artists to come and make music with me and come and perform with me, and like, you know, I have like a group of people that like will just make me like, you know, beats on cue, like, you know, right away. It's like, oh, I if you would have told me that, like I would have been like, damn, when's that gonna happen? You know, like can it happen now? Like, you know, so like it's really just you got to look at it in a different perspective, because like sometimes the bragging, like you need that, like not even the bragging, but like the feeling,
the gassing up.
Yeah,
you need gas to get the car going, man.
So like I was gassing myself up today, and I felt a lot better about shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, dude, it was wild because I was on a coaching call where one of my coaches was coaching, group coaching similar to what I'm doing, and like, man, he said something, and I just started fucking crying. Because I realized I was so deeply ingrained in the lack mindset still. And I was like, oh. And like in that phone call, in that meeting, I had one of the other dudes in the meeting be like, he's texted me. He's like, hey, send me the payment link. I want to join your class. Like as I'm fucking like losing my shit all over myself and feeling like I'm not good enough.
Yeah, somebody else that just wanted to come in and join.
And just be like, yo, I see you.
Yeah.
Like, so that's the thing, seeing yourself from that different perspective. Like one of the artists, actually both of the artists that were here visiting, they're both in my class. And like, they both have a hard time seeing themselves the way that I see them and others can see them. Where I was doing a tattoo the other day, one of my homies brought in his 20-year-old daughter. And like, we was done with the tattoo. And man, I just went on one of my little things, you know, when the universe like starts speaking through me.
Yeah.
And I was just, you know, just letting her know, because I had made some mention of like probably not loving yourself enough, and like, that was it. Like I knew I needed to speak deeper on that. And I started speaking and then she started fucking crying.
Yeah.
And then like, it wasn't running out. I still had more to say. And I look over at my homie, her dad starts crying. Like he got a great picture of me and her fucking hugging in that moment. And I look like I'm crying. Like, so like, it's just wild how like, you don't even know how speaking to someone by letting them know, you know, like, you're in the right spot.
Yeah.
You're perfect just as you are, you know, you deserve love. Look at yourself from an outside perspective.
Yeah.
And when that comes and like, when you feel that, that's like overwhelming and cool, but scary.
Yeah.
You know?
No, it is scary.
Yeah.
No, it's weird. I mean, when you started talking to me the other day
at the gym.
Yeah, on the what is it? The
elliptical.
Elliptical. There you go. Elliptical. And the elliptical, like I wasn't even like really sad particularly or like anything, but you just started speaking what I needed to hear, and all of a sudden just started crying.
Bro, I thought you were laughing at first.
Well, I was laughing. That's the thing. I was laughing because like it was like, you know, when you cry like because you realize something, and I was laughing because like it's true as fuck. And then it was just hitting me like, why am I like this? Like, why is it like, you know, like I was laughing like, why the fuck am I like this? But like at the same time I'm like sad because I'm like, damn, like this is so true. I needed this. Like, you know, like it's so I catch myself crying like that honestly a lot more, but like a realization cry, like, you know what I'm saying, like a epiphany type cry, like instead of just like crying to be sad. But like there's both, but like,
well, yeah, you know,
definitely more of that lately than anything.
Like I was sad when I was in the tears today, but at the same time, you know, Donna did a really great job of like reframing the other side of it and being like, yeah, well, that's gonna fade. Yeah. You know, like it's not gonna be this way forever, dude. So, you know, putting in so much work towards a goal, especially a goal that's ethereal, like, you know, physical fitness is hard to see the results, right? But you see them because they're physical. Yeah. But the mental wellness, the way you see those results is by having people tell you who you used to be, reading your old journals, if you even journal. You know what I'm saying? Looking at yourself on old pictures, you know, like, dude, so many times I feel like, dude, when you told me your homie went and bought season 5 to watch me on Ink Master, I immediately was like, fuck, he's gonna see what an asshole I was. And then really, who gives a shit, man? Like, because when he meets me now in real life, he's gonna be like, damn, Jaden's dad's pretty lit. You know, this dude, like, I seen who he was on the TV, and that was a lot different.
It's crazy because, like, even then, you know, I mean, you realize, but like, you may not realize right now, but people loved you then. So it's like, you know what I'm saying?
That's
like,
true.
How many people came over? It's like, I saw you on Ink Master, and they were like dumbfounded, and they loved it. Like, they loved you as a person. Right. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of crazy. Like, even when you think like, oh man, I was my worst self, then like, people don't even know that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they all thought I was cool. Yeah. The ones that did, you know.
Yeah, and like nobody really, like, you know, some celebrities may feel like they're not their best selves, like, you know what I'm saying? But like people love them. So it's like everybody has that chance to grow. And like, you know, it's the same shit with like, I can compare it to music. Like sometimes I'll be thinking like, oh, like this is kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Or like this isn't up to my standard. But just because it's not up to your standard or my standard doesn't mean that other people's standards, and like they don't even have a standard for that. Like they're just happy to see you. They're happy like that you are who you are. They're happy with the music the way it is. Like they love that like shit. And it's like, it's some shit that you really gotta like take into account. Like stop putting it to this high standard when people just love it.
An unreasonable standard.
An unreasonable standard.
Because high standards are cool. That's how you become a high performer.
Yeah.
Unreasonable standards is when you start to hate yourself, go into deep depressions, get suicidal, because like you realize you'll never be able to realize these standard levels. Which is weird why we do that.
I'll never touch my standards. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like no matter how great I am, I'll never touch my standards. No matter how great my music is, I'll never be completely 100% happy with it. But that's the reality of it. And that's where like once you accept that, I feel like it's like, okay, let me just let my shit be what it is and just let it go out and let people receive it how it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's weird. Like I get super overwhelmed with music stuff, like with like what my stuff is gonna drop, like the EP. Like I was overthinking that. That was my first thing with like more than one song attached to it. So like at one time. So I was like, so like, so like, I didn't even realize. I was like, you know, does it mesh? Does it like, you know, was these the best 3 that I could have? And like, I just
that thing's a fucking banger. Dude.
Yeah,
that EP's a banger.
Everybody loved it. There was a little bit of everything on it. So it's like I knew what I was doing when I was doing it, but when I finished it, I was waiting for it. I was like, I know what I was doing, but I was like, yeah, I knew what I was doing, bro. Like,
it's so easy to do that to yourself. It's so weird. And it's almost like we do it for sport.
Yeah, just to have something to think about extra, have something to worry about. I feel like I always just need something to worry about.
Bro, and that's big.
Yeah, like I feel like I could never let my brain just be 100% chill.
And that's weird because the older I get, the more I realize I need that.
Yeah,
like I need to not be that stressed out. Like, dude, I've been in so many situations in the past few years, you know, from traveling nonstop to, like I had the freedom to travel all around the country in a way that people only dream of, right? Yeah. Like, dude, me and Donna would drive around in our fucking car, living out of our car. And people are like, I wish I could do that. I'm like, bitch, I'm homeless.
You didn't even have your address for your mail.
I had like 4 addresses, depending on like where I was and like how I wanted to present, like to whom I was giving an address to. You know, like, dude, Alicia fucking she let me use her shop as an address for a while. And she was like managing my fucking shit. She'd send me pictures of mail that she thought was important. Like, dude, it's wild as fuck. And people are telling me, oh, I want to do this. And, you know, Donna's like, fucking do it. And then, you know, we moved into the RV and then it felt a little less weird. But still, it was like, people are like, oh, I want to do that. And I'm like, really? I was just crying on the side of the road because I was afraid my car was going to fall off the back. You know, like that was my old home last week, and now I'm afraid it's gonna fall off the back.
People racing around you for 2 seconds in your RV, bro. Like,
and then I'm like, oh, if my car falls off the fucking trailer, then that means I didn't put it on the trailer right, so then insurance won't cover it. Fuck, what am I gonna do? So like, dude, I don't even know if that's the truth, but like, I panicked myself so much. So as I'm like going around living the free life, I'm also like not able to come out of that. Then I break my leg off, I go in the hospital. Now I can't do anything forever.
Yeah, now you're in this confined space, RV with your leg too.
Well, I was at the hospital for a while, then the RV, then Donna's doing everything in the RV because I can't really do shit. Like, so then, you know, we go from that. I don't know why I'm so yawny today. Then we go from that to moving to Florida, COVID pandemic time. Yeah. So now it's like, now I'm confined to a house, but not a bed. Yeah. So then I was like, oh, fuck, this is weird. Then, you know, during COVID, we opened the shop. Well, we got the shop ready to open it as soon as we were allowed to legally. You know, and it was just like all of these different times that I've felt like, and then, you know, we have the baby. Then I took like 6 months of fucking, you know, paternity leave between the pregnancy and him being born. Yeah. You know, so it's like, I've had these different experiences of like working too much, not working enough, doing too much, having too much on my plate, not having enough on my plate. Yeah. And it made me realize I need to find comfort in just being. Like yesterday, when we were sitting on the couch, like I woke up and I was like, I'm gonna paint the baby's room. And wouldn't you know, he fucking stuck to me like glue all day long. Like he didn't want me to leave him alone. And Donna kept saying shit like, you're supposed to be sitting still. Like he wants you to stay here. Yeah, yeah. And you know, it's just so crazy how when you get the free time, you don't know what to do with it. Yeah. But when you don't have the free time, all you want is the free time.
No, it makes sense. I've been doing that, like, especially with music and stuff lately, bro. Like, some days I'll, like, after we'll come in, like, from laying down, sometimes I'm like, I gotta work on music. And then sometimes I'm like, bro, I'm tired. Like, you know what I'm saying? Instead of, like, keeping myself up all night trying to work on music and stuff, like, I know I'm gonna have time to, like, sometimes I'm like, honestly, like, what's better, like, getting a good night's sleep, you know, and then working on it when I have, like, real time.
When you feel refreshed.
Forcing it when I'm not feeling it completely. So it's like, you're never gonna be able to, like, get that perfect time
Never
for
perfect.
anything. Like
Never
nothing is ever like, oh, this was the perfect, like, you know, I've needed this. Like, no, like you'll need this time and then you'll do something else.
Well, remember the song that me and you were gonna make when you were living in Indiana?
Yeah.
We sat down, we had like 2 hours before I was having to get in the car and leave.
Yeah.
You murdered your part. I hated my part.
Yeah.
And I haven't recorded with you since, and that's been like 2 years, a little over 2 years.
You gotta change that.
I gotta change that. Well, we're
It's
also
different now. I didn't know what to do then.
well,
so.
we're also trying to find my voice in the music thing because I don't want to be a musician the way you do,
It's funny.
but I am an artist.
You're an artist already because you're so concerned with how you're trying to sound.
Right.
Because like every artist, that's like the thing. Like,
Yeah.
I want to sound like this, but I want to sound like this. Like, and you like shit on me, like, but like that's the thing. Like, it's such a wide thing. Like everybody does it, especially with recording music. You like, it's so weird because like the voice is such a different thing. Like people like. I remember when I started, I hated how I sounded. I thought I sounded stupid. Everybody said I sounded great. So it's like, and everybody, when they first start, the big thing of like why they struggle or when they quit is because their voice, like they can't figure it out. Like they can't get it right. It's like, man, like, you know, just let it go. Let it free.
Dude,
you know what I'm saying?
it's really wild, man. It's funny that you say it like that too, because like that's how artists are with visual art.
Yeah.
You know, like
visual art.
You hate the way your art looks. You fucking looking for your style. You know, I remember being jealous of my former artist that I was at times when I was trying to develop my style even more. Yeah. Weird stuff. Yeah. So Chad Tally, I see you in here. So can you hear me? Can I hear you?
You can probably hear me. I'm driving right now.
I can hear you. So this is, if you've ever watched any Rad Movement videos, the Chad, who has helped me curate a number of things, and been my co-host a number of times. What's up, fam? How you doing?
I'm doing dropping stuff off, running errands, gotta go to the bank, all that crap. Adulting.
Yeah, I hate adulting. It's stupid. Honestly, I'll tell you what, adulting can be really cool and powerful when you're not stressed, but when you allow the stress to take you over, that's when I hate the adulting.
Yeah, that's true. Sometimes there's something nice about it though.
Right.
Just treat it as like a, you know, not like a chore.
Yeah, it's an accomplishment.
Yeah,
it's like a game. It's like a score.
So, yeah. How many things can get done?
Yeah. So, sir, the Chad. The show is called "Let's Talk About Feelings." What kind of feelings you want to talk about today?
I don't know. I don't really have any right now. Nothing I need to talk through. I'm good for right now.
So you just popped in to see how we're doing.
Popped in to say hey.
All right.
See what was going on.
Yeah. I want to say a lot, but not a little. I mean, a lot and a little at the same time. It's like we've had 6 or more guest artists come through in the past few weeks. I've been launching my coaching program, which has had me locked in this room doing enrollment calls, and I've been buried in my phone with all the marketing content and responding to everyone and being a one-man show, which is new for me, again, because I didn't realize how accustomed to having people do things for me in business that I'd gotten with the tattoo shop and with Donna. So it's been really weird figuring out like the structure of how to run this new business. I mean, you've been around for all of it. You've seen me come out of the room and be like, yay! You see me come out of the room and be like, man, I'm a bum. And the whole thing is, it's really cool to step into something new that you don't know. Because it's so now the coaching thing is different for me than art, because I know that the art of coaching I have that shit on lock. I know it well. I've been doing it for so many years that like for free or with
Subconsciously,
clients, with
When
friends,
you're just talking like,
with
it just
you.
comes
Yeah.
out. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
It's
just been there.
So I've been doing that for so long. And what I didn't realize was like the legwork on the other side of it, like creating the infrastructure and then creating business structure and then, starting a Square account and then them holding up my funds because I changed my Square account from my old stuff and they wondered why all of a sudden I'm generating income through it. And it's been, and the people that want to work with you but can't, or like the people that want to work with you but don't, or the people that don't see the value in working with you. So it's like, it's been really interesting. But the thing about the coaching is when you start to step into something like this, you start to illuminate the things that aren't really going right, or the things that you want to heal and you want to fix, which I feel like happens with everyone as they start something, right? Like you start your music career and now it illuminates all of your imposter syndrome around music. And then now you start marketing it and it illuminates all of your fears around marketing. And then, you release music and you're like, well, what if nobody listens? And then it's like, then you see the listens and then you start making excuses. Well, that's probably my dad and this person, this person, this person.
Which is not enough in general.
Right. Oh yeah. God, why can I never get the same amount of listens as I did the first song I released on SoundCloud? Like, it's just so weird how we get stuck on these milestones, but like people are listening. People are watching. People are paying attention. One of my favorite memes that gets shared around globally is you're inspiring people that pretend not even to see you. So keep doing what you're doing.
Oh yeah.
And like, were we talking about haters the other day? Was it? Yeah. We was talking about how like your haters are great. Yeah. Like you got some haters and I was dealing with haters. And like the thing about haters is that like when you have haters, that means you're doing something.
And they're usually a bigger percentage than what you even think of, like your like supporters. Like they're hating, but they're supporting at the same time. They're always listening. There's always watching. Always watching. Even if you're blocked from their natural accounts, they've got burner accounts that they follow you on. Like weird shit. Yeah, they got somebody looking at. Yeah, it's always so weird. You can come in here. We're doing the feelings show. And so feelings are something we all do very well in this house.
I just let all the crazy animals in.
Yeah, so if you hear a bunch of noises, it's a deaf Frenchie that oinks a lot. My other Frenchie empanada, who doesn't oink so much. And then our Beagle Mavis. And depending on how much you know of me and Donna's journey, she used to be with us on the road. Me and Jaden were talking about when we were on the road. God, she hates it.
This angel.
She hates it.
This girl.
She's such a love bug, but hates being held. It's so weird. Speaking of love bugs, this guy loves being held. Oh, and he looks at his big brother and his mama, so much love. So yeah, welcome to my family, y'all. And this is
for him, but
what's that, Chad?
I have a bunch of Halloween outfits for him. I gotta bring by.
Oh hell yeah, dude! Yeah, Donna was at Walgreens today talking to Megan, saying we should get together soon. So we should definitely get together soon. And I still need to try some of your pepper salts and seasonings and things. Have you made another run yet?
I still have a bucket of the salts and stuff. I gotta make more seasonings and more sauce.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely down to try. So for those who don't know, Chad has started an artisanal spices company because he's probably one of the nuttiest people I know with spices. We did.
I bought 2 of those Pocky One Chip challenges. You want to do another one this year?
Absolutely not. I will never do a Pocky One Chip challenge again. Talk about feelings, the feelings that my stomach and digestional tract and asshole felt from that were not okay. That was not okay stuff. I don't know how you deal with that, bro.
I think I 3 times last year. I'm only doing it once this year.
Oof. Yeah, well, I don't know how you just continue to do it.
I like spicy stuff.
What's that?
But I like spicy stuff.
Yeah, and you don't get the aftermath like I get, apparently.
So I told you didn't follow my advice. You didn't buy the cooling wipes.
Bro, I'm telling you, man, it ain't even about cooling wipes. My stomach was in so many knots. It was so difficult. Oh, I hated it. I will never do that again.
I'm cool on that.
I know I was able to make it through that. I know I could lose a leg and make it through that. I don't need any more hot chips in my life. I'm good. So for anyone that hasn't met him yet, this is my youngest son, Zen. Yeah, hi, buddy. And he's got the cutest little pajamas on right now. They're his little Halloween-y skeleton jams. I love his little pajamas. He always looks so cute in them. I never realized how much fun having a baby was, even though I have one. I was so young when you were born. I didn't even know how to appreciate the little things yet.
Yeah, I feel you.
And all I did was work. All I did was work.
Yeah, you did.
Wow.
That was a different time, a whole different life.
Yeah, man. And when we bought the RV, the dude that we bought it from, he started crying when he was driving us around because his wife has dementia. And he was like, well, I told myself I would stop working so we could travel with the RV, and then she got dementia, and now I wish I hadn't worked so much. Yeah, bro. Yeah. So that coupled with just memes that you see, nobody says on their deathbed they wish they had worked more.
Yeah.
A lot of interviews that you talk to older people
Yeah.
will say, I wish I hadn't worked as much.
Yeah.
So I started to try and take that advice within the past year or two.
Yeah.
And then especially when he came around, and then, you moved in shortly before he came around. So I didn't want to be at work all the time. I wanted to be here with you guys,
Yeah, exactly.
and Donna and the animals, and just I don't know, man, when you're alone and you're lonely, we talk about this all the time. You long for those people to be with you.
Yeah.
So why would you not be with them when you're?
You can.
Yeah.
You have the time. No, I mean, shit, I've already had a taste of that. I mean, I was in Indiana and I was doing my thing and everything, and I was with the people that I was with and all that. But at the same time, I was, missing the people here. And Abuelo passed away while I was gone. That was a big wake up,
Yeah.
type of, I felt guilty about it, and I felt there was things that I
That's Jaden's cat Lolly.
that I was missing out on, and so it's it's really nice to be able to just spend the time and I have it, why not spend it?
Yeah, it was weird because you were doing your thing. And then while you were doing your thing, I was sad because I traveled and worked so much when you were younger that, we've always had a strong relationship, but I felt I wish I could have given it more then. And now Donna always jokes that I don't even want you to move out of the house. Probably, yeah. I'll probably rather just buy a bigger house.
Probably she's not wrong.
Probably just, buy a real big house and give you your own wing or something.
Yeah.
Buy some property, put a couple houses on it,
I mean, we could always make a super house.
Right.
Every time Jaden's like, oh, me and so-and-so are going to move in together, you're like, well, they can move in here.
Yeah, you just get a bigger house.
Yeah, that's it. Just get a bigger house. That's all, man. That's all. We'll just keep hanging out together. So yeah, but that's the thing, I was listening to this book, Be Your Future Self Now. And he was talking about when he came home from work one day, he thought about himself as a 53-year-old man and how different coming home from work is going to feel when you're a 53-year-old man and when your kids aren't there anymore. And you know, instead of coming home and like being grumpy or needing time to you know, decompress, you'll actually think about, well, that 53-year-old me would just rather have those people here. And like he said, he instantly changed the way that he came into the house. He was super excited to see his 3-year-old daughter, and like to stay in that mindset of one day I'm not going to have this, so I may as well take this while I have this.
Yeah.
That's a big one. It's hard to get to as well. You know, because like that's not normally ingrained in us. You know, what's normally ingrained in us is the lack mindset. You know, I don't have enough.
Focus on what we don't have.
Yeah, I don't have enough everything, so I've got to go and do more. And it's so weird that, and especially, you know, I put you in that mindset, I'm sure, a lot, because I was always like, I don't have enough, I need more. I don't have enough, I need more. Everything was always a more.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to fall out of that, or, you know, slip out of that and, you know, settle into something where I feel like there is more.
Yeah.
And the more is here, not there.
Yeah.
You know, it's wild. Me and Donna got into it yesterday, and that was really what kept showing up for me a lot. Not enough.
Yeah.
That's a demon I've been fighting for a while.
Yeah.
You know, like even that movie we just watched, Me Time, with Kevin Hart and Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
A homie was given all this time to do his own thing, and like, what do you do when your focus is what your focus is? Now you don't pay attention to that focus anymore. Like, it's hard to focus on what's important.
Yeah.
Because what's important is usually a convoluted concept.
Yeah, it's not a cut and dry thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many things that, like, you know, are important, and just because of, like, you know, what society says, we feel so different about like what we need, like people showing off on social media when they really don't have all, like, or they're not even happy with a lot of the stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just something that's like valued in the eye of, you know, the public. And you know, that's the biggest thing, is like people are trained to follow what other people do. You know, why do we follow people? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. Where does that come from? Like, what's the point of that?
Yeah.
And it's weird too, because like, you know, you're conditioned to, you know, go to work and work hard and all these things. But the truth is, we all know that family is the most important. We like work hard to create a family, and then we have a very hard time being present for our family.
Yeah.
And that's something that you, as you know, one of the youths that's turning into, you know, America, you know, our American, you know, future. I want you to be the one that knows that your family is important while you're making it, during the fact that you're making it, you know, like don't lose sight of that. Don't make work too much of a priority, because as you've seen, the money always shows up. Mama, will you come take the printer?
JD can't take them because Lala can.
Well, you know, the family is more important, and we don't, you know, when family was important to us, but family was us, and we've always had a very unique family bond.
Yeah. It was never just straight like family, dad, son type stuff. It was more than that. It was like, you know, like I felt like we were just homies, you know, and that's always how it was. Like,
and sometimes I was more of a homie than a dad, when I could have been more of a dad than a homie. And that was, you know, a convoluted thing, and I didn't know which way to look, you know, which way to act, which way to go. What
do I switch to right now?
Right. And like, how do I parent? You know, like I remember when you were super young, you never, you know, you never heard curse words. So I thought, you know, and I would make people give you $1 if they cursed around you and stuff. And then I let that slide, and because that was how I was supposed to be a good dad at the time.
Yeah.
And, you know, as time goes on, you realize being a good parent is more about just being present and loving and giving. And yeah, so it's interesting how it all works out. And not everyone gets the opportunities to learn how to work from home like I'm learning to, and, you know, creating multiple businesses that sustain themselves, and like, you know, it takes a while to figure that stuff out.
Yeah.
You know that you're even allowed to do that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Income that just comes in different ways instead of just working. You know what I'm saying?
Working
like,
40
working
hours to
40
make your
hours,
paycheck, you
working
know?
2 jobs, you know what I'm saying? And like, I mean, at the end of the day, the biggest thing is that there's no rule book for parenting. There's no 100% right way. There's no, like, there's wrong ways, yeah, and there's right ways, but like, there's no perfect way. It's literally just like intuition, like, you know, feeling, and like, just like you said, being there, and like doing what you can, and like showing them as much experience and showing them as much like real life as you can, because like, you know, like we talked about school, you know what I'm saying? School doesn't show enough of real life.
Yeah.
It's a very like, you know, whether it's money, whether it's like whatever the case may be for why they do it, it's not structured for you to be able to like, if we didn't have like, you know, if they just threw us out after, like, you know, or out of high school, it's not built for us to just be able to survive after that. Because there's so many things I didn't know then, I still don't know now. You know what I'm saying? But like right out of high school, I was not ready to just live on my own.
Go into the world.
You know, like if I didn't have parents, like, you know, my dad and like everyone to be able to show me and like tell me things, like I would be screwed. You know what I'm saying? I would have went through a lot worse. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, where is the lines, and like how do you just be your best, like, you know, parent, teacher, you know, guardian, whatever, you know? Yeah,
man. And like that's one of the reasons why we're looking into unschooling with Zen, you know, rather than sending him to some curriculum-based learning program. Like I said yesterday, man, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a father, I'm a husband, you know, I'm living all these steps in life. Why wouldn't I want him to learn from us on how to live life? Yeah. You know, then go to this school that is teaching him things he's not even going to really need. You know, I mean, so it's a really interesting thing, and I never thought I'd get to this level of like, like tinfoil hat. You know, let's go into the woods and live off grid type. But you know, at the end of the day. While I do believe in the structure we have in the world is wonderful, right? It works. There's a lot of mistakes. What's that?
I said it works sometimes.
Right, exactly. Like there's a lot of parts gross and like very commerce driven when they should be heart driven, you know, and love driven. And that's why I find it necessary to come on here weekly and talk about feelings, so we can like reintroduce, highlight, you know, put you know, a glow around the things that our communities don't typically teach us from your basic curriculum standpoints. You know, in school, there's really not a way to learn how to deal with your feelings or even balance your checkbook. You know what I'm saying? And fucking, you know, now, and I feel there's a lot of cool things that they're bringing in. You know, they do dual enrollment, and like I went to DCT, which is like I would leave school halfway through the day and go follow my career. You know, I just feel like there should be more of real life experience based stuff, so that way we can learn about how to experience life. I mean, like the way you did it, we moved out of the house because the house we were living in got sold out from underneath us. Good people they didn't mean to, it just happened. And it happened faster than we thought it was going to, because they were like, oh, houses don't sell in the winter. It was like the third person came and looked at the house, bought the house. So now we're like, fuck, what do we do? So like we had a decision to make as a family. You know, do me and Donna go move on the road? And she had just come into our lives, you know, and Jaden was either going to come and live on the road with us, or he moved into his friend's house and like finished high school there. And that was really weird. And there was a lot of stuff that came up for me about being a parent and am I making the right decision and so on and so forth. Those conversations will still be some of the most cherished conversations of that week before we moved out of that house. You know, you and I would basically have a good strong hug and cry and talk about shit for at least an hour every day, it seemed. And like that taught me, like, I didn't prepare you enough, but I prepared you more than most. You know, the independence that you had from me being a single dad who would party at night at home, you know, and you would wake up in the morning, get yourself ready for school, wake me up to drive you to school. I'd drive you to school and then I'd go back home and sleep until work. Like, it was so weird that like that was our dynamic, but the way you let me realize, like, I gave you freedom, I gave you independence, and like you learn how to take care of yourself to a degree.
Yeah.
And you know, coming back to living here now, I'm just glad that you live with me again because I like being a father.
Yeah, I mean,
you know,
it was pretty
even though you're a grown up.
Yeah, it was pretty much the time. I mean, I was still 16 or 17. Yeah, 17.
You were 17. Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, I was 17.
Just
like,
turned 17.
Yeah. So like that was weird, you know.
Yeah.
I was scared, but at the same time, like all of that like built me, you know what I'm saying, and like was able to like really make me like have this idea of like I can do this, like, you know what I'm saying, and like big change isn't always bad, and like, you know, because that was a big change and it was scary, and like I didn't want, like, you know, like yeah, we were like, you know, when I was younger I was like, oh yeah, I would love to, like, you know, be on my own, yada yada, I love that, but like at the same time I was never like, you know, a lot of people don't get that freedom, so then they hate their parents or they resent their parents, and it's like I always had that freedom, so like, you know, it was weird.
Yeah.
And I didn't have that like that hatred toward it, or that like oh, I just need to get out of here, like this place sucks, like, so it was weird. It was like I didn't want you to go.
Right,
but like it's just what needed to happen. I was in high school, wanted to finish it up. I didn't want to be on the road, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and then I feel like we went through our weird stuff, you know, for a little bit there, because I was always afraid that you were not going to love me. You know, you were going to rebel against me the way teenagers do. And that rebellion was more of like an inability for us to see eye to eye on things in your life, with your love life and your personal life and your music life. And I was like, it was just the weirdest way that we had our discord. Still always wanted to have love and always found a way back to love.
Yeah, we always got back to it. It's just like, you know, we had times where we had to like, you know, I had to learn on my own, and you were trying to teach me and like or tell me what to do, and I was like,
nope.
All right, I'll do it myself. And like, yeah, some shit is stupid, but like I had to learn, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
it is what it is. And I mean, I'm glad I did, because like, you know, I didn't go too far to the point where it, like, you know, hindered me or like, you know,
no, definitely not
anything. It just, I had to, like, you know, I pushed a little harder. I went the hard route. You know, sometimes you got to take the harder route just to show yourself you can do it, or whatever the fuck out. You know, you think in those moments. But like, yeah, you know,
I've taken the hard route a number of times, man.
Definitely.
And like, it's weird. It's like you take the hard route so much, you feel like struggle is necessary.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it is, but it isn't.
Yeah.
You know, like when you allow life to be, it's a lot less mellow, a lot more mellow, a lot less struggly, but like.
But they do say there's beauty in the struggle, you know what I'm saying? There really is, like, you know, coming up from where you thought you just weren't going to be able to make it out, or like you were just like, you were struggling so hard that you forgot with like just living normal life, you know what I'm saying? And then like you get to the point where like you aren't struggling, and then like you have this whole new appreciation for that, you know what I'm saying? Like, a whole new appreciation for how you lived, how you got through it. It's like, you know, you didn't think you would overcome this, and then like you see the progress you made, and it's just like, wow.
Well, dude, like I say, how the nights in Indiana where I would sit up at the tattoo shop by myself drinking champagne, being sad, scrolling through Tinder, and like being even more sad because Tinder is just such a gross, disgusting place. And like crying and like listening to music and almost tattooing my dick because I was so sad and like all this stupid shit, right? Those were like some of my most fun memories of Indiana, because it was like a really deep, weird struggle. And like it was uncomfortable and I didn't like it. And you remember the car situation, buying that shitty car that blew up on me on fucking Valentine's Day. Fucking then, you know, having Sheldon give me a car, and then ended up buying a car from somebody, and then that went south, and then fucking dude, like there was just so much. And here we are now
And then Donna came into your life.
and ruined it.
The worst. No, but like,
But
I
Donna
feel the
was-
same way, bro.
Donna was like a missing link puzzle piece
Mhm.
for me. And it's weird because like never once has she ever tried to be a mother figure to you. She's more just been a homie, but like does fill a very motherly role in this house
Yeah.
where, you know, like she takes care of things and
Something, I forget what it was the other day, but I was like, Jaden, like, are you sure? And he's like, Donna, I am an adult. I can do it myself.
Like, yeah, like I think, like, cause sometimes it's like, yeah, I'll be sad or like, you know, some things like, you know, like, oh, can you do it? Like, yeah, I know I can do it. It's a matter of if I, you know, if I want to do it like this, I want to do it a different way.
Mhm.
But like, yeah, like, so it's funny going back to like the memories of like, you know, the sad memories you had here, but that were like some of your most favorite, like
Yeah.
Frankfurt, bro. It's crazy.
Frankfurt,
Delivery-
Indiana.
delivering
Woo.
pizza at Pizza Hut, like just driving around. Some days I would just be crying most of the time. Some days it would be really great and I'd have a great time. And like it was just the weirdest struggle. Like I was struggling. Like that was like, you know, that was when I like, you know, I was broken up with at the time. So like I was kind of struggling like then. And
Lying
like,
to yourself,
yeah.
telling us that you're not sad.
yeah, I'm like, you know, I was like, but at the same time, some of those memories, like of just living and like, you know, being sad and just working like my ass off, like some of those times are like some of my favorites. You know what I'm saying? It's weird.
Yeah, it
It's
is
like
weird,
it's
man.
so weird. Like sometimes I look back and I'm like, that shit is so nostalgic. I wish I could feel it one more time.
It's because you learned so much. In those
Yeah.
moments.
Yeah, because you could feel the growth looking back at it. You're like, wow, that was literally growing pains.
Yeah.
That's what they feel like.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was in probably the worst shape of my life. I was like, you know, like I was just sad. I was in the worst mental shape of my life. Like, but I had at that point I had a decent amount of money, but it's just because I had nothing to spend it on. And I was like, so like, you know, I was so stuck at home that I didn't spend any money. I was just at home. So it's like, it's so weird. Like, definitely some interesting time.
Yeah, man, definitely.
Scrolling through Tinder too.
Oh.
Having a fun time.
Dude, I see you going through it now sometimes. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, poor guy.
Yeah, it sucks.
And then we were at the arcade last night, and I was like, maybe Jaden could meet some girls here. They might be his age. Like,
The girl behind the bar said it really nice.
right? Like, oh, I bet they could be friends. Oh, man.
It's so weird.
And it's weird because you have a similar heart to mine where you don't just want to run around fucking being a hoe. Like, you want real, valuable, meaningful relationships. And that's a tough place to be when you're in a spot in your life where real, valuable, meaningful relationships aren't the easiest to find or maintain.
Yeah, no, it's like, you know, all that shit is like played out at this point. It seems like everybody around me that I'm around, like, even like Slot, you know, he was never the one to be like, I don't want to like, you know, I want to be with one person. Or like,
Yeah, he was always running around being a dipshit.
yeah, so like it seems like everybody around me is in the same spot where they just want that connection. And it seems like there's like a part of my generation that like really is like more into that and like, you know, like the misunderstood, like, you know what I'm saying? And like it's interesting to see because like I can see both sides. Like, yeah, trust me, there's something crazy about being able to do whatever the fuck you want and like having like being completely like, you know, just whatever, like no commitment to anybody. That's great. But like sometimes like I feel like people can really feel that, like, you know, that genuine love, like connection, and like just having a connect with someone like makes you just feel this different type of way.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
like your whole, like, you know, like supporting whatever you do, you know what I'm saying? Like whether you make music, art, or like any type of thing, or just working in general, trying to get to something, having that support behind you, it's nothing like it.
Yeah, man. No, you're absolutely right.
It's crazy.
Hell yeah. Well, shit, man. I appreciate you coming on today.
Appreciate you having me.
I
I'm
always
sure I'll be
like-
on more.
Yeah, I always like doing interviews with you. I always like talking about the life things that we talk about and sharing that with people. I love sharing our relationship because I believe seeing stuff like this would have helped me understand that we could have a relationship like this.
Yeah.
You know, so it's it's really cool to have this relationship with you. You know, the fact that like you don't think I'm a nerdy dude, like you make me cry all the time by telling me how great I am. Like the other day when I was in it and you were like, man, you are so good at what you do. Like I'm sitting there on the toilet fucking crying and you're yelling through the room and I'm like, I love you. So, you know, dude, I always love talking to you, man. I'm so glad that you're here and you're a part of Zen's life. And like, you know, Donna's not a trashy piece of shit, so you accept her. You know, you know, it's nice to have a family that looks different than I thought my family would ever look like.
Yeah, but feels better than what you would have thought your ideal would have been.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
That's
like
cool.
yeah, it's weird. Like we all four of us hung out on me and Donna's anniversary, and like that was cool, you know. Like we went bowling and arcade, and it was a lot of fun. So yeah, man, I love you, dude.
I'm good. No, I love you. It's unorthodox, but that doesn't mean it's not good. Like
Absolutely.
I'm just happy to be able to be here, like, you know, be able to be a part of like what you're growing and like being able to see what you're doing and like take that knowledge in. Cause like you've always been my crazy dad that just says random shit and shit that I may not understand. But like as I've gotten older, I've been like, you know, especially living here now, like these last couple months, like shit just has been hitting different. And like, you know, I always knew you, like, you know, because everybody be like, your dad's so wise. And I'd look at it like, yeah, he's wise, you know. He's
a wise
sure,
ass.
He's a wise ass. But like, no, like really though, like I will say like it's crazy because you know, you tap in and like you hit different spots that like I didn't know that were possible. So like, you know, whether it's just because I really need it right now and like, you know, I'm really open to it, but like you do an amazing job at what you do. I can see it working for like everybody around. So like it's cool to be able to like feel that firsthand and not just tell you, oh, you're doing great just because I see you doing it. No, I feel that shit. You know what I'm saying? So like,
and it's cool to like see you feel it, see you learn from it, see you grow from it. And then when you give me feedback like that, I know it's real, I know it's valuable.
Yeah.
I know you're not just telling me something to be nice.
My dad,
And I feel it, you know. So yeah.
It's true.
Fuck. Everyone, thank you for joining. Thank you for sharing tender moments between me and my child. Chad, always love talking to you, man. Thanks for showing up. Yeah, so Jaden is JTL Jado on all music platforms: Spotify, Apple Music, SoundCloud, YouTube. Instagram is JTL.Jado. Jado is JAIDO. And JTL Jado. JTL Jado and a couple of his colleagues are going to be performing at Rad Inc. this Friday, September 2nd. Music's going to start between 3 and 5 and end around 8 or 10. We're going to be doing free love tattoos all day long. There's a few tattoos on a flash sheet that are all love-based, some self-love based. But yeah, it's all based on the rad movement stuff, all just loving yourself, loving each other. And when we give you this tattoo, we're going to charge you with going and paying it forward. So the plan is to change the world through the art of tattooing, right? And I found a beautiful way to do that by charging people to pay it forward. And at some point in time, hopefully the next event we do will be a worldwide free love tattoo day that we could turn into a yearly thing and actually change the fucking world with it. If
Also,
you're in Florida, come do that. Come get a tattoo. Come watch these fools perform.
Jaden has 3 events this weekend, not
Yes.
just one. So go over to his Instagram to find out all about the other 2.
Yes, he's opening for rapper Beth Believe, who has done work with Kevin Gates and Shaq. So that's like a huge thing. And then that's on Saturday night. And then Sunday night, he's going to be at Grumpy's Underground headlining a show with a bunch of other folks that are going to be in town. So yeah, there's lots going on this weekend in the life of Jaden, JTL Jado. myself, I'm going to be at 2 of the events. Saturday, we're going to be in Inverness, Florida. I'm going to be a celebrity judge for a sidewalk chalk event. And that's when Jaden's going to be doing the show with Bez Believe, which is going to be really killer. So yeah, if you have any interest, hit him up, hit me up, come to the shop. If you have questions about the show at the shop, the flyer is very self-explanatory, and hope to see everyone there at all the places doing all the things.
I'll be there on Friday after I get off of work.
All right, cool, man. We'll see you there. All
Yep.
right, well, Chad, we love you, brother. Talk to you soon. Everyone, we're rad, and so are you. Fucking love y'all. Thanks for tuning in every Monday on tattoonow.com. No, reinventingthetattoo.com. Sorry. They're intertwined. We do Let's Talk About Feelings with me, and my new co-host, Dustie Pitstick, will be on board from this week moving forward, or next week moving forward. So yeah, much love, all the good things. And last thing, tomorrow is the first day of the Rad Academy powered by the Magical Motherfucker Method. If you want to get in on that, I am still accepting enrollments up until we start the class at 6 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. So if you want to change your life and become the most magical motherfucker you've ever been by healing old traumas and removing mental roadblocks, discovering the gifts that you have and unleashing them onto the world, hit me up. Let's do this. Much love. Have a great day. Have a great night. See you next week.
Peace out.